Good morning. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another edition of the Morning Breeze, man. Always rocking with you guys, as always, man. Outside of me, I got my guy, Mr. Media himself, Jordan Johnson, in the building. Back at it again. Got a lot to get into on today's episode. Y'all not picking me up? Check. Y'all not picking me up? What the heck? I got. Oh, okay. All right, there we go. That was random. All right, bet. Breeze Nation, what's good? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love to another edition of the Morning Breeze. A lot to get into on today's show. I want to talk about some of the camp battles that you got to tap in with this Chicago Bears team. Going to be interesting to see some of the battles that play out at OTAs. Of course, that left tackle position is one to keep a real eye on. And dare I say, maybe some comp at wide receiver one. Some standout players and season expectations. Ladies and gentlemen, the date is 5/22/2025, 7:03 in the morning. And you know what? We got Jordan JC and the Birds. Literally the Birds. Oh, God. Literally the Birds. The Orioles was too much. I'm not gonna lie.
Wait.
You did it on purpose and it was villain.
I sure did.
Oh, God.
That's right.
Sweet.
The only bird you'll see.
Oh, those poor birds. They never had a chance. Man, appreciate y'all for tuning in to show love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do.
Come on. Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push your button.
You heard what she said.
Yeah, I heard what Sue Young said. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, man. Let's talk a little bit of OTAs. First things first, Jordan JC. Where are these birds? I'm sorry, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Don't worry about the birds. It's just all about me, Jordan JC. I'm doing
Jordan JC in the building, Mr. Meaty himself.
That's right. Those pigeons are good. Get out of here. The population of pigeons is taking a hit. No, doing good, man. Hey, you went down there for OTAs. I gotta say, man, I looked at some of the clips. I gotta say, are you just filming off of your phone, or what are you doing when you're down there? Oh, just your
off my phone.
That's some quality. That's some clear quality.
I need to get a Samsung, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Nick Moreno, host of the Nicholas Moreno show over on the Bigs, man. Tap in with him as well. That's my guy. He got like the Samsung joint, and he be like basically zooming in on Caleb Williams' nose hairs while he's running a play. You know what I mean? I'm just like, bro, like
get all in there.
iPhone, get better. Like honestly, it's like at a certain point you get to like 6.1 zoom, and it's like, we're getting grainy now. All right.
Oh, okay.
iPhone
All
gotta
right.
be better.
Hey, still good job by you, man. I love the highlights.
Oh man, listen, yesterday was a fun day. It was a fun day for a multitude of reasons, not just the things that we're going to talk about today, position battles and things like that. Yeah. But it was fun because like it was a real practice. I said this yesterday on the show, walking in there and going into a real legitimate practice was not my expectation. Yeah, it was not what I thought I was going to be watching. Now, you always want to go into a real practice, but that first OTA practice had more intensity in its pinky than any practice ever under the Matt Eberflus era.
You're dang right.
Any practice the last 2 years. Because remember that first year, it was very intense, and then
He said, "Don't you do that?"
Yeah, man. The lady was like, "What do you got going on there? We'll take some money out of your pocket." So I think that it's when you talk about some of the players who might be heating up in this position battle already. I know it's very early to say this, but this is the intensity that they're putting out at OTAs.
Yeah.
This is the intensity Ben Johnson is bringing to OTAs. And so I actually think that it is appropriate to talk about it because while it is early, and I don't think that there's going to be a ton of, depth chart stuff happening here. I mean, to even evaluate any offensive lineman at this point is insane. I've seen people out here trying to like really break down everyone. I'm really just speaking from the general position battles that you can see kind of forming here. To critique somebody playing, right guard for getting beat, you got to know that the backup center was also in the mix on that play. You got to know that there were times where the third string left tackle was playing with the first string team because they're creating all of these different scenarios. So it's just, it's a different situation for me to be coming out. Like I saw people yesterday, like breaking down each individual Caleb Williams pass. I was like, y'all wilding right now. God, I don't know. How are we breaking down every single pass of Caleb Williams that he threw? He should have been elite. It's day one of OTAs. We don't care.
Come on now. Come on.
Let's get it right. And I like the fact that Ben Johnson was reiterating, let's just get this right. But some of the position battles that I do think are starting up, and I'm gonna start off with an interesting one, Jordan JC, because we saw a young man come out yesterday and not only have a good day, but also got the praise of his head coach afterwards when he said, for a second-year player, he's much further along than you would expect him to be. Jordan JC, I think there may be a little bit of a competition for wide receiver 1 on this team. And I think Odunze may have something to say about all of the people who are sitting there going, it's obviously DJ Moore. You paid him the most money. You knew he was going to be that guy, yada, yada, yada. Now, I also think DJ Moore has the perfect personality for this. I don't think that he would come out and just be like, oh, well, it's never going to happen. Trade me. I can't deal with not being wide receiver 1. But Odunze yesterday had a great route to get him downfield. Dropped the pass on this. The one time Caleb Williams pushed a deep ball downfield to him. Get him dead in the hands. You got to catch it. He didn't come down with it. Sometimes that'll happen, especially early on in practice and at OTAs. Don't let it happen in the game. But you had that you had that pass. There was a beautiful pass from Caleb on the right side that Rome was able to bring in. There was a pass over the middle to Rome. Like Rome had himself a nice day yesterday, and it just made me kind of sit there and go, this young man was drafted 9th overall. I understand we brought in DJ Moore, and DJ Moore is also a Ryan Poles guy. But I think Odunze may have something to all he's clearly the wide receiver number 2 coming into the season.
I said it before when we talked about Odunze and the expectations for him in year 2 is that I feel like there's just a normal chemistry. There's a better chemistry between him and Caleb Williams being drafted in the same year. Kind of getting their feel for the league at the same time. That sometimes that matters. When you're talking about, who he may feel more comfortable with. And we've seen him go to Odunze multiple times in the latter part of the season and save the day in a sense. And so can you build off of that? Again, we've talked about Odunze looking like he's jacked, looking like he's ready. He has all of the tools to be a wide receiver 1. As you mentioned, being drafted 9th, that's what you expect, right? You expect him to be in that realm of being a wide receiver 1 eventually understanding what it takes to be that. Every offseason, you're putting in more work into your craft. You have the measurements, you have the height, you have the speed, the deep ball ability, the yards after catch, the 50-50 balls.
Yeah.
Those things you have in Odunze. DJ Moore obviously is a very, very good receiver. But I mean, if you're talking about the potential of Odunze, it's up there. It is height. We talked about that when who was it that was evaluating him? The old receiver from the Cincinnati Bengals.
TJ Houshmandzadeh.
TJ Houshmandzadeh. Who's your mama? Yeah. He basically said, "Hey, you've never seen a guy like this with his measurables that can move this way, and can catch and
Yeah.
so you expect him to eventually take that leap." Now, I said that I don't expect him to, maybe just wow us and just take over the league in year two, but you never know. Like it could be at one of those moments where it's like, no, he's arrived. And he could be that special type of player. And so just because of off of the chemistry that I've seen already with them in year one, I think that could be a possibility that he does statistically at least be wide receiver one this year.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think he's got a real chance. I think to be honest with you, the ability that he shows on a consistent basis, especially just the ability to route run at that size, like it is impressive. The route tree that Rome Odunze has, I think, is impressive. His ability to get out of his routes cleanly is impressive. Now it's about putting that on the field on a consistent basis. Yeah, I mean, that was one of the issues last year. And truly, it comes down to being on the same page. And there were times yesterday, it's why Ben Johnson was flipping out. There were times yesterday where the Bears weren't on the same page. There were times yesterday where the team was the operation wasn't clean, right? And you expect that early on. I'm not saying that's a shock or anything to the system here, but there were those moments yesterday where you just kind of looked at it and went, we're in phase 3 of this. Now it was an install day yesterday. Ben Johnson said that as well. So you're learning new stuff, but I think even Ben Johnson, which is why he kind of had those moments where he flew off the handle, was looking at this team going, we just went over this. We should know this right now.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be redoing this, get back in the huddle and run the play again. So Rome, I think, has some amazing talent, and I think he's gonna really try and show out this year. I'll say another competition in that wide receiver room that you cannot sleep on. I get it. We drafted Luther Burden with that second round pick, right? And you're excited to see what he's going to be able to do coming into the season. And you're excited to see, the young rookie on the field. Don't sleep on Olamide Zaccheaus and dare I say, even a little Devin Duvernay. I think that slot position could be up for some competition. It didn't feel like we were missing Luther Burden yesterday.
Really? Now, wow. I know he was sidelined with an injury, but
he was sidelined with a little bit of a soft tissue injury, but it literally was like halfway through the drill where you're kind of trying to find everybody. And that's when I focused in on the wide receiver group. And I was like, Burden's out there, right? He's out there. Right? There you go. No, where is Luther Burden?
Yeah.
There was still passes, a ton of passes completed from the slot.
Yeah.
I mean, Devin Duvernay made a play that I thought was a really nice catch and run. Olamide Zaccheaus made a play that I really thought was a really nice catch and run. And we kind of just brush off because we got Luther Burden. We're like, he'll start in the slot. Olamide Zaccheaus has 700 plus yards last season from the slot for Jaden Daniels. Like, he had the ideal role there and did it well, had his breakout year. I think you could see a battle at that slot wide receiver position a little bit more, especially early on here, if Luther Burden is sidelined a little bit.
I like Olamide Zaccheaus. I mean, he was brought here for a reason. He was acquired first, and that's why you were kind of shocked. Oh, they went receiver in round 2, and I believe because of the way the draft went and the board fell, that was kind of their pick. That was the other direction, their plan B in a sense, since they didn't get Travion Henderson, as we heard. Having Luther Burden there on the board in the second round, came to a lot of people's surprises. So, it just fell in our lap. And yes, I love that the fact that you can have that type of depth at wide receiver, where you're getting competition at the slot position, whether it be the Duvernays, who you assume was just brought in just to be that returner. Duvernay has been there many times as a reliable receiver back in his Baltimore days. And then, of course, as you just mentioned, Zaccheaus, he put up 700 yards the previous year. And so there's nothing to sneeze at. And that's why I love that this wide receiver room is one of the deeper rooms, the deeper position groups that we have here. And so when Luther Burden comes back, he's going to have to show up and show out. It's not just something that's just going to be given to him. He has to prove himself. Obviously, he has a chip on his shoulder already, but this is something that's just not going to be, oh, you're slotted in at wide receiver 3 automatically. You see the skill level that he has. Luther Burden looks just as special. You know, he looks good, but that doesn't mean that it's automatically your job. And so that's what I love, is that everybody, the competition level is at an all-time high on this team.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. By the way, we are over 100 in the chat. Over 200 in the chat. 200. Hit that like button if you have not done so. Subscribe to the page. Leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We got 185 on the YouTube side, 72 on the Twitter side. Let's get this mug cracking, man. Let's keep this thing growing. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Listen, that slot spot is going to be so important. Is going to be so important this season, because that's where a lot of the yak does come from. I'll be honest. Look, big yak guy. And now my impersonation of a yak. Yak.
What?
You know, see Ace Ventura?
I don't remember that.
I used to watch
Ace Ventura all the time.
But he's on the airplane annoying the people.
I gotta go back and see it.
My impersonation of a yak. Yeah.
I'm definitely watching that. I'm definitely watching that.
I love that movie.
Whichever one that was. Yeah.
That's one of my favorite movies ever, bro. I think that's I want to say that's Pet Detective, right? Is that Pet Detective?
Is it? Or he was saying J-Flo said it's Dumb and Dumber. You getting the Jim Carrey's wrong?
That's Ace Ventura. I know that for a fact. Because he's on the plane going to whatchamacallit. He's going to Africa. When Nature Calls. That's When Nature Calls.
Oh,
he's going
when he was in love with that girl. Yeah, okay. I do remember a little bit of those. Yeah, okay.
Bumblebee tuna.
Yeah. All right, I gotta keep up with that.
A lot of animals on this show this week. A lot of animal references. That's because we got a bunch of dogs on this team. But no, man, I think that slot position is going to be one where you could almost say, right, and Ben Johnson has talked about this. Are you going to use Rome there in certain situations? Are you going to use DJ there in certain situations? Who fits most in that spot, right? Because listen, the one thing, DJ Moore is still a top guy on this team. DJ Moore fits very well in that slot. Do you put Luther Burden to the outside and let DJ Moore be the slot guy who's dominating down there? Because that's where Amon-Ra St. Brown got a ton of his usage at, right? So to me, I do think that's going to be one of the highly competitive positions, because I think not only could you be dealing with the guys that are the slot receiver positions, I think you also could be dealing with some guys who are not per se going to be in the slot all the time, where it's like, well, we got this mismatch in the slot. I'm exploiting Rome Odunze in the slot tonight.
I mean, that's the beauty of it all, is you just don't know where the wide receivers will line up. It's not just going to be an obvious thing. You have so many different ways that you can utilize these guys. And I know Ben Johnson, the mad scientist, has a lot up his sleeve. And so, yeah, no, that's very true. There could be 3, 4, 5 guys that's going to have fun at the slot position.
It's gonna be fun. Oh, watch yourself now, Jordan JC. It's gonna be fun. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
It is gonna be fun.
Hey guys, can I come back? I miss it over there.
Nope. You don't have
a down here in Jacksonville. They make you watch film with the quarterback.
Yeah, you go ahead and stay down there with Duval.
Duval. That's
Jesus,
the creepiest. It's still, I'm telling you, bro, he's wearing people's skin. We're going to keep talking about some of the position battles coming up next, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We're going to talk about that coming up next. But first, we do want to listen in to a word from our sponsors over at Aura. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching the show. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Aura. Have you ever done a Google search on your own name? You'd be surprised what pops up. Your full name, email address, home address, health records, your relatives. It's all out there. And that's why I've been using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits standout request just for me. Cleaning up my information not only helps reduce the amount of spam I get, but it protects me from hackers who could use that information to help them access my social media, bank accounts, and other sensitive information. It's really simple to set up. I don't have to download several apps or go to things like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft, but you can get all of that in one place with Aura. I get everything at one affordable price as well. You may already have one or two of these tools, but not having Aura is like leaving the front door locked while leaving the back door and windows wide open. For you to be able to take advantage of Aura, we got a special deal for you here today. Stop data brokers from exposing your personal information. Go to my sponsor at https:/aura.com/the Windy City. Again, that is aura.com/the Windy City to get a 14-day free trial and see how much of your information is being sold. Welcome back. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love as always, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Jordan JC, we are over 300 in the chat. Whoa! 300.
Cool. 300. Now let us out.
No. Got to get to 1,000.
Gotta get to 1,000.
Free the birds at 1,000.
We don't free the birds until we get to 1,000 in the chat.
It's all on the chat. It's all on the chat. It's not my fault if they score locked up.
Hey, man, we're going to keep the position battles going, the position battle conversation going, because I think we've still got some interesting ones here. I'll be honest with you, JC, one that I didn't expect to start up yesterday, and I don't even know if it did. I don't even know if it did start up yesterday. But that Mike linebacker position, Dennis Allen talked about the possibility of moving around Tremaine Edmonds on the defense or on the linebacker spot, move him to maybe the Will or the Sam, you know what I mean? And just testing him at all three linebacker positions because of his length, his versatility, and his ability. But all he has been since he's been here in Chicago has been that Mike linebacker. The expectation was that he was going to basically be Shaq Leonard, right? That he was going to come into Fluce's defense and be Shaq Leonard. He's been a lot more like Baby Shaq. You know what I mean? It has not been, I'm not going to say it's been horrible, but it has not been what you expected from the third highest paid linebacker in football. And so because of that, the conversation was opened up about the possibility of TJ Edwards becoming the middle linebacker in this, Mike linebacker in this defense. And listen, it seems like that played out a little bit yesterday when we saw a couple of different scenarios where TJ was at the mic and Tremaine was at the Will. And I mean, he's still on the field. He said it in his press conference yesterday. It's not a big deal to him as long as he's on the field and making impact. That's what's important. But that's a shakeup. I'm gonna be honest with you, coming into the season, I didn't really expect, especially because even Dennis Allen likes his linebackers a little more built like Tremaine Edmonds.
Yeah, and look, if it works, it works. Really, at the end of the day, that's all that matters to me. It doesn't matter what exact linebacker type you are. Like, if you're on the field, you're in a more better. If you're in a better position,
more better. We heard that.
Yeah, I did say more better. I was trying to correct it real quick. A better position to succeed, then by all means, go right ahead. Like, to me, that doesn't seem like it's a demotion. You're still on the field. And so just continue to try and be a better version of yourself. Being one of the highest paid linebackers, as you mentioned, you have a certain standard or expectation from us, the fans, from your team, and I'm sure from yourself. You should want to be better. And so hopefully whatever changes, whatever tweaks that, and I said tweaks, not tweaked.
Oh, those poor birds.
Tweaks that we, that we see that, and that, you continue to thrive in that position. So yes, Edwards by all means can do some of the same things that Edmonds has shown. And he's been a very special linebacker since we've gotten him, one of the best tackling linebackers in the league in the past 2 years. And so I'm all for that switch up. As long as it makes Edmonds more comfortable and he gets more comfortable in Dennis Allen's scheme, it doesn't matter where he's lined up to me.
What I do like about it a little bit is TJ being, you know, I don't know which one's a better communicator. I know that TJ on the field, I always hear him. And me and Lance used to talk about that all the time, right? Like, you should hear your mic. He should be the person that you hear the most. I always hear TJ. And TJ's been the off-ball guy, right? So I think from a communication standpoint, maybe it helps in that sense. I also think from a coverage standpoint, remember, we're going to be playing a heck of a lot more man-to-man. We're going to be playing a ton more man-to-man. That doesn't mean we're not going to be in zone at all, but there's going to be those moments where, you know, your front four have to win and Tremaine Edmonds has to be out in coverage. I think at that will spot, he could be somebody, especially when getting onto the running backs or getting onto, you know, a tight end coming across, whatever it is, that he can be somebody who can keep up with that guy in coverage. Where TJ, not to say he can't keep up with the guy in coverage, but there is a reason TJ has a lot of sack or a lot of tackles. Because usually that guy's catching the football and TJ's tackling them. Quick, short yard situations. But I think that Tremaine may be more of a PBU breakup threat. A PBU threat there.
Pass breakup.
I said PBU breakup guy, and then I was
I got you.
Pass breakup guy, a PBU guy.
He's a double breakup guy. Big breaking everybody's eye.
He's not even staying with his. Never mind. But I'm joking. Don't run with that. But no, I think that, you know, seeing that switch, it's one of those things where I think we all were always like, maybe TJ could fit there, but he doesn't really have the size for it. Dennis Allen walks in, he's like, let's make the switch. Let's see what it looks like. And so I like that from that standpoint as well. Another position battle that I saw.
What do we get?
The obvious one. I think this is the one that we all, and it didn't get off to a great start. Karan Amagaji got the start at left tackle yesterday.
Yeah.
Start with the first thing. We expected that. We kind of thought that was going to happen. You can't evaluate offensive linemen without pads. You can't evaluate offensive linemen without pads. You can't evaluate offensive linemen without pads. But I can evaluate you on if you stand up when the play starts or not.
Okay.
We running? That's what we saw from Karan on the first.
Oh man,
left tackle. Now it got better, and there was a couple of runs.
Okay, all right.
A couple of run situations where Karan did get out and make some good plays. There was a couple of situations where, you know, you can see the athleticism on it. It didn't feel like a left tackle, is what I'll say. I like my left tackles to feel left tackly. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about.
There's certain meatiness to him.
You know, I love a meaty left tackle now. Yeah, I like a guy with a. There's no good way to say it. A nice backside.
Oh, okay.
You gotta have one.
Little movement to it. Okay, I got you.
You gotta have that GTA 6 jiggle effect going. You know what I mean? Like
the fact that I know what you're talking about is crazy.
You're a devious man.
Little sparkle dress there. All right.
Hey,
All right.
You got to, bro. You got a little BBL action. You got to.
You need like
you can't anchor yourself without it. Got these tiny legs, but like a wisdom tooth out here.
That Tyson look, don't you?
Yeah. It wasn't a good first day. I'll say that. And again, this is new. This is early. It's day 2, but it didn't start off well. And I think that's going to be the competition at camp, at OTAs, that everyone is, of course, the most focused on.
Well, I think that's why we said that Ozzie Trujillo has a real shot at being the starting left tackle. One, because Braxton is going down, and so that opens up, a little bit more of a chance. And of course, this regime isn't tied to Braxton in a sense because they didn't necessarily draft him or were part of the draft with Braxton Jones. I'm talking about the coaches and Dan
They did
Richard
draft.
is what I mean.
I was about to say. I was like, Ryan Poles did draft.
I'm talking about the coaching staff. Yeah, not Ryan
okay.
Poles. So they're not necessarily like looking at him as the darling of the bunch and saying, "Oh, I drafted him specifically." Dan Richard is going to be like, "Hey, whoever's the best is the one I want." At the end of the day, and so that's why you see, the mountain of a man Trujillo. Maybe he has a shot, and so if Karan Amageji isn't at least in the position to be ready to defend and block for his quarterback, that could be a problem. But as you said, if he looked better, the more the day went on, then that's fine. But my thing is that, can you just continue to be more competent? Like we saw some of the blips last year in his rookie season. He came out and he said all the right things about wanting to, defend his quarterback. He's going to keep him clean. He's never going to get touched. And then he didn't keep him clean and he got touched. So that's my thing is you got to back it up with actual good play. And for my marbles, I'm going with Ozzie.
Yeah, I remember those comments, and then I remember him immediately getting the game, and I was like, "Cap."
He's how many tone the voices you got on that soundboard? Jesus. Oh, we got a little little Daft Punk version. Okay, all right. Intergalactic planetary. Oh.
What was that? I don't even know.
That's a little scary. A little Thanos-ish.
No.
Right.
Oh, where that bring right back to me.
You're a bad man. Oh my! No, I'm not. You can't make me. Oh God! No,
listen. That left tackle position group is going to be. I think Ozzie's got a real shot at that when we get to camp.
Yeah,
I would have loved to see him see more things run to his side. There wasn't a ton run to his side, so you couldn't get a true evaluation. He jumped up one time, I will say that, and didn't false start. There were refs there as well, but it's like this was a full practice, bro. Like we were sitting there shocked in that mug. But it was surprising, like just how early on Karan just looked like he was unprepared to be out there. You can't have those moments when you're in a competition sometimes because everybody's going to be looking at it and going, all right, well, he didn't even stand up. That's a check. You know what I mean? But hey, man, we appreciate y'all for rocking with his last one that I seen, JC. Little QB2 shakeup, maybe.
Oh, that's what I heard. Yeah.
QB2 shakeup, maybe. Case Keenum.
Case versus Tyson.
Got the first second team reps, and then swapped it with Tyson Bagent all day. Now, here's my question to you. And I think my question to the chat, because I immediately saw people come out. Even Courtney did this yesterday. She was like, Tyson Bagent's QB2. Like, there's no question about it. Tyson Bagent is QB2. If you're going to have a guy on the sideline, now I think Tyson Bagent has more ability than Case Keenum does right now. I think Case Keenum is old. That's why he's here. But if you're going to have a guy on the sideline who is there and a lot of times is the backup quarterback to help comfort or to help calm down the starting QB, to help, him see the things that he's not seeing on the field. We've heard how the backup role goes. Would you rather have Tyson Bagent, who's more talented and there if you need him in a pinch, or would you rather have Case Keenum, who is going to bring the knowledge? Now, Keenum can still be there. It's not like he can't be there, but I think like just knowing a system does bring a value, especially when you're putting somebody in the game.
Is there a way that we can actually combine the powers and make a Case Bagent? Is that possible?
Bagent.
Is that possible? A Tyson Keenum or something like that? No, but I think there's a real maybe a real competition there at QB2. Obviously, I'm in the Bagent camp. Younger guy, has the potential. You've seen some of the times where he's come in and he's been very, very efficient and capable of putting the team on his back in a sense and leading them down the field in certain spells. He's a decent quarterback too, and I think he's still trying to grow in his game. One of the things that he mentioned even in the recap show was that eventually maybe he's looking to be that guy, and so whether that's somewhere else, they mentioned a team like I think they mentioned the Raiders or something, or the Saints, one of those teams. It was like, hey, they might have an open vacancy, and so I expect Tyson Bagent to really compete. Case Keenum is there with the experience. To me, he's a little bit better than what we had when we brought. What's the guy? He's actually been on a lot of TV media shows now. Our old former quarterback, Chase Daniel. Thank you.
I like Daniel.
I like Chase Daniel, but I mean, you knew that he came in and mainly he was here to be the sideline mentor, to be the coach, to be the old guy that just is going to be the quarterback
and he
whisperer.
played like 14 games.
Yeah, exactly. And but for me, I have more. I guess I should say I would have more confidence if in a pinch you need Case Keenum to play. And you've seen Case Keenum's track record over 13 years of experience under his belt. There's been a couple of seasons where we even talked about it before. He actually had some really good years, nothing to cough at when he was in Minnesota. Some of those years that he actually did a really, really good job. Oh no, what
did
you got
say
a bird? You got a
cough at?
Nothing to, yeah. Did say cough at. Don't you critique me. Nothing to sneeze at, cough at.
Nothing
to throw that at.
Nothing to scoff at.
Oh, scoff. Oh,
Or
maybe
nothing to
scoff at. Hey, well, you know what? There's a variety of things.
Nobody's well, I guess you could if you do it like that under the breath, like, oh, you're an idiot. Like, I guess you could kind of like cough at something. I wasn't expecting that.
Whatever. Anyway, I think that Case Keenum has a real shot. But I do love the entire room. I think that it has improved, and again, if you're talking about someone who had some really good years in the league that can kind of coach up a Caleb Williams and even a Tyson Bagent. Yeah, Case is that guy, and so maybe he's just not here to be a sideline guy. Maybe he does want to be quarterback too. We'll see.
Yeah, you know what I do find interesting. I actually think no matter what, Chicago Bears, you got to get this guy signed to a contract. They're nuts.
That in the doctor room here. I don't know about that one.
Get this guy signed to a contract, right? Because remember how, and I've said this reminds me a lot of that Green Bay coaching staff with Gruden and Andy Reid and all those guys on it, right? Remember how all of those backup quarterbacks end up being traded and go on and actually have careers in the NFL as starters in the NFL. You have that situation possibly here with a guy like Tyson Bagent. Do not let him walk away for nothing.
Good point. Yeah.
You have a guy who, if this offense is successful, is a young quarterback that has some arm talent, that has shown some flashes in the league. Teams that need quarterbacks will come calling and say, let's see, who's the team that's probably going to need a quarterback next year? Browns drafted one. Jacksonville may be in the mix there, although they got Mac Jones, but he also sucks. Dallas? Yeah, we don't know what the Dak situation is going to be. Could there be a Dallas shakeup? Although he's got his money. A team that needs a quarterback in the long run, right? Those are teams that come calling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those are the teams that come calling and try to find something that's already a little bit more NFL established. The Saints is a great one. The Saints is a great one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those are the things that I think when for reasonings, right? When you're talking about getting stuff done, that you keep guys like this around. So to me, I think that seeing, you know what I love about Tyson at practice as well, man. And, I don't know what the expectation is truly of the backup QB outside of, be there and be ready to go in case somebody goes down and make sure that you're helping your starting quarterback kind of see the things he may not be seeing from the sideline. Tyson Bagent gonna change the play at the line and push that mug down the field. He like, this is probably my only chance to play this season, baby. Here we go.
Yep.
Hey, Tyson gonna let that mug
I'm gonna do what I do.
dog.
I'm gonna do what I do. No, I love it.
I love it every time I see it.
I love it.
Some of the players, we've kind of talked about some of the players. It's all been one conversation. We talk about standout players and season expectation. Of course, we're talking about the position battles here. Who really has your intrigue right now early on? Who's the player that you're looking at that you heard about yesterday or that I talked about yesterday that you're like, all right, that's one that I've got some higher expectations than maybe I came into OTAs with?
Well, it honestly would be Odunze. It honestly would be Odunze. As much as I do expect him to take a jump, maybe I'm tempering expectations, and I'm not thinking about him potentially being that guy for us going into year 2 already. I've already seen the chemistry. That already is something that has been established since they were drafted together. Them hugging up and being goofy and silly together in the draft booth and everything. Like those are the things you just can't coach up, right? I'm expecting him to have a maybe 1,000-yard season, but could it even be better than what I expect? Maybe more touchdowns. And again, is he the guy that you go to last year? When it came to like those third down completions and getting down the field, there were a lot of times where Keenan Allen was that guy, was that safety net. Could Rome Odunze continue to be Caleb Williams' safety net instead of a DJ Moore? Now, I think DJ Moore is going to have a better chemistry with Caleb just because, they're trying to get it right over time and, year 2 of this thing. But I think already Rome has catapulted himself into an atmosphere where he could be special already out the gate. And so I'm looking for him to exceed my expectations in a sense.
The biggest thing is just having them on the same page. If him and Caleb are on the same page, I think sky's the limit. I think you've got a player that's going to be a 50-50 guy. You've got a player that, man, I don't care what nobody say. It must be, he looks slow on the sideline. Shut up.
Nah, bro.
Fast.
Yeah.
We actually got to go down on the field, and yet again, because there was like a charity thing going up we were inside yesterday, so there was like a charity thing going up top. They're like, yeah, just go down by the field. So we standing back there watching. You just see Rome take off. 1, 2, boom. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that it's, elite speed off of the line.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you it's elite speed off of the line. But
like his acceleration isn't there.
When he gets the top speed.
Yeah.
It's over. It literally was 1, 2.
Yeah, you got some guys that are quick, and then you got some guys that are just fast. Like even that's why I love your boy out of the records, Calvin Dunn guy. They said that he accelerates up to his top speed very quickly, but then he doesn't have a good top speed. There's differences in that with players. Rome is a guy that he can get up to a certain speed. He has a longer burst, but maybe it just takes him a minute to get there. So, hey.
No, but I agree I will say my meathead moment of the whole practice, that was a wild transition there. My meathead moment on the whole practice yesterday was, dare I say, there may be a little bit of a position battle. At least I'll temper it.
Oh, what do we got?
I'll temper it. At least at that running back 2 spot, because don't quote me on this, or do.
I will.
That first running back that Caleb Williams handed off to, DeAndre Swift, number 1 back right now, makes a lot of sense, right?
All right, yeah.
Everybody else getting it. Roschon got it from Tyson Bagent. Austin Reed for Gilliam, I think his name, whatever. It don't matter. He won't make the team. And then Caleb Williams back in that game again. Handing the football off to Kyle Monangai.
There you go. That's what I like to hear.
No, to be honest with you, I even think Roschon had a solid first start yesterday. Couple of solid runs, couple good pass catches. I really wanted, if he can keep from being in concussion protocol, this entire conversation in the offseason probably means nothing. As much as I like Kyle Monangai, like if he can keep from being in concussion protocol, I think the Bears really like the opportunity that he could bring to them. You just got to protect yourself with it.
Yeah.
And you can't sit there and go into the season and be like, he's going to be there for 17 games. Like it's not realistic. And I do think Roschon is going to get a heck of a lot more touches this season, and a heck of a lot more opportunity. But
no,
go ahead.
No. I honestly, I just wanted to put a whole bow on this, man. I want to say, with all the standout players we've been talking about, the biggest thing for me that I love is just the level of intensity. You mentioned it at the outset of the show, is that Ben Johnson is really setting a different standard here. And even in an interview, he talked about, somebody asked him, "Were you agitated or you look irritated?" Like, yeah. He's like, "Hey, you thought I was? I gotta work on my facial features. If my expressions, if I'm telling my team to do that too." But I heard that he yelled at Cole Kmet for lining up imperfectly. Like I don't know if you saw that, but
yeah, we all saw it. Everybody heard.
Oh yeah,
it was right in broad daylight.
Really? It was that obvious.
Bro, what you mean? He stopped the play.
Okay.
So literally, they come out of the huddle. Everybody goes to their spots. I don't know if Caleb called it wrong or if Cole was in the wrong spot or if Cole was lined up wrong. But Ben blew the whistle and he was like, run it again. And they kind of just got ready to run the play again. And he was like, no, from the huddle, get back in the effing huddle. Run it again. Went back in the huddle, called the play again. They relined back up. He was giving it to Cole on the way back, telling him he had lined up in the wrong spot. And then immediately it was like a dot in a tight window throw to DJ Moore that DJ Moore took down the sideline to what should have been a touchdown, but he slowed up at the end, and a DB came from behind him and punched the football out.
Oh wow! Well, then see, those are the things that right there I love to hear, because you're setting the standard. It's like, oh, we got to get in line, and like immediately everybody's like, all right, let's do it. Like it's something that it's something mentally that it does to you, where it's like, okay, if you're expected to hold to a certain standard, and you can see that your coach is holding you to that. All right, we gotta up our game. We can't go below this line, this bar that's being set. And so I love that even if you're yelling at one of the captains, one of the leaders of your team, that says a lot too. That goes a long way. So I love to see it. But overall, I just love the intensity that he's bringing and the coaching chemistry, or rather the culture, I should say, to this team.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think I've ever seen Cole Kmet get yelled at.
Good.
Like, I don't think I've ever seen Cole Kmet get yelled at. I love it. I think that's why everybody is kind of like, oh, this mug is different. Because, like, Cole is always in the right spot. Cole is always lined up right. Cole is always doing his job the right way. Cole is the ultimate professional. I've never seen any coach call out Cole Kmet.
Amazing.
Ben Johnson, an hour into practice, which is wild that we was an hour into practice. We was like, Cole, get you. What?
That man been here 24 hours. He just knocking people out. Get in line. There's going to be some changes around here.
But man, listen, I think that you saw the result of it.
Yeah. Immediately,
next play, boom. A play that should have been a touchdown pass. If DJ Moore doesn't slow up at the end. And in a real game, I would assume he doesn't slow up at the end. He may never do it again in practice after that. But it was just shocking to see. And I think I talked about this yesterday, even getting ahead of the Caleb Williams situation is something completely different than what we saw from old Flusy. Something completely different than what we saw from him. Like it. Yeah. Flus would have been like, "Oh no, we're gonna keep it internal." We talked to him. We've had conversations.
He would have said that. Yeah,
I've given him a nickname, and we're all good. We're in a good place right now. We're gonna move forward. Ben Johnson was like, "Heard my quarterback's been in the news, huh?"
Yep.
Yeah. Let me tell you this. I don't care.
Had nothing to do with me.
Had nothing to do with me. He's working. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was one of those situations where it was just like yesterday was just all these moments of like, what is this? And it's not, y'all gotta understand, it's not that I haven't seen Matt Eberflus do this. I haven't seen a head coach do this. John Fox did this.
Yeah.
John Fox had no team though. But John Fox did some of these things. He established a culture. And then Nagy and friggin' Flus immediately flipped the boards and destroyed it. But you know what I mean? Like it just,
there you go.
It was weird. By the way, when John Fox was here, I think I was 15.
Jesus, that was that long ago? How was that?
I feel like I'm not tripping on that. Am I tripping on that?
Probably not. It's been a minute. You just
John
don't
Fox,
realized when
I probably
you
wasn't
don't
15.
realize
15 sounds crazy.
You probably are in the ballpark of because it's been a minute. That was when we drafted Trubisky over Watson because I know he wanted Watson. So what was that?
Oh no, I wasn't 15. I was married. I probably was 20.
Okay, so you were 5 years off. All right,
Probably 20 or 21.
All right.
You got scared. I thought a lot of time had passed. I got nervous.
That's how you know we're getting old.
I was like, oh no. Oh yeah, when you just start
Exactly.
equating things to decades that you've lived, that's when you know you're getting old. 2015. So I was 21. 2015 to 2017, I was 21. That's crazy. I remember sitting there with my dad watching a John Fox game, and he was asleep. I must have just been at his house. he was like knocked out on the couch like this.
Just completely out of it.
I assumed I was a kid because those things happened. I was watching the
when
game
you
at
were
home,
a kid.
and he was asleep.
You just associated it with that.
Why are you asleep? Wake your tail up. Hey man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Stay tapped in with us on everything we're gonna have dropping today as well. A lot of content coming you guys' way as always. So we appreciate y'all for rocking with us. By the way, Jordan Jason, before we get up out of here. Oh, before honey on that chat.
Tweet.
Oh, dang it. The birds. Let the
600
birds live.
JC.
Hey, man, for Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, it's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bed down. One love. We'll have you covered here with any and all updates from the Chicago Bears and, of course, Chicago sports talk in general. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bed down. One love. Peace.
Yeah. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, I did just see, prayers up for the Irsay family, man, Jim Irsay.
Bruh, insane.
Yeah, that's wild.
Insane, bro.
That is wild. That is wild.